Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Guys on Sports. It's Super Bowl week. We're excited. Well, we're not excited, but it is Super Bowl week. I mean, I guess even though we hate the Super Bowl, I got to find a way to enjoy it. Rocky, where are you with the Super Bowl right now?
Yeah, first time in my life that I'm taping it.
TiVo?
Yeah, DVR. And I am not watching it live. I'm actually going to a Broadway musical.
That's something.
Yeah, that's something. That's how little I'm looking forward to this matchup. I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah.
I feel like I know the outcome.
Yeah.
And you know what? The refs cheat a little bit this time, and the Eagles lose. I'm okay with it because I hate the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Hate the Eagles.
So Mark's going to be at a volleyball competition.
Yeah.
You're going to be at a musical.
That's right. Yeah.
I got to be honest. I felt the same way last week. As the game's gotten closer, I think I feel I'm not excited, but I do want to watch the game.
I think it'll be a good game.
There's a lot to talk about. Stuff surrounding the game is interesting.
Yeah.
We're gonna answer some questions about the game today. We're not gonna do we'll do some run of the mill talking points, but we'll talk about some more obscure things, some things that we think are likely to happen. But I think the first and foremost thing, this might fall flat now. I didn't know you were going to indulge in the finer arts, but I was just gonna ask, hey, what's the spread look like? What do you?
Yeah.
Or typically, what's
fair.
the spread for you on a Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, that's a good question. It depends on who's coming over.
All right, let's say
I almost had your brother at the Broadway show. Almost had your brother. He was.
I'm going to his house, so that's
No. Yeah.
Concerning.
He mentioned it, but he thought about it for a moment. He was gonna screw the Pasquale.
Wow.
And go to a Broadway show on Super Bowl
money
Sunday.
talks. So I think so. Let's say nothing crazy. It's you, your wife, your daughters, and maybe a friend of the family, or so. You have one, maybe 4 or 5 people. What are you going with, right? Because I think especially for games like this where you're not super excited. I mean, I do think this is more exciting than like the Rams and the Patriots a few years ago, right? There's more juice here, even if you hate both teams.
Yeah.
But you still got to build up the experience around the game. So whether that's having a few drinks and the food. So what's getting you revved up for a bad Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, I'm not drinking my calories. Like I'm trying to slim down. So like if my calories are going in my body, I'm eating. So I like wings.
Yeah.
But I always like a little sausage, some peppers and onions, make a little hoagie. That's, to me, my motto, you never say no to sausage.
Never say no to sausage. Hot take, I hate wings with bones in them.
Really?
Here's why.
Really?
Here's why. And don't come for me.
No, this is a hot take. This is a bad take, too.
No, it's not a bad take. It's a preference, so it can't be bad. Here's my thing, right? It's, for me, I hate a wing where I can feel the skin, right?
No, 100%, I agree.
So, but here's my problem. It is so hard to find people or an establishment that does them right because they need to be fried and then they need to be flash fried again. But a lot of places, they'll heat them and then they'll place them in a container with no venting and then they get soggy. If I bite into a wing and I feel that slimy skin or the rubbery skin, I'm out. I don't want no part of the wing.
Yeah.
If the only time I like the wing is when it's super, super crisp, then I could get busy.
So I'm there with you, and I am that guy that only gets the legs. I'm that guy that says, hey, I don't mind paying more.
You like the flats or the...
No, I don't like the wings because I'm too close to the crime. I bite into it. I can feel the skin.
Yeah.
It's not crispy. I know what I'm eating.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
This is, so I'm too complicit to the crime.
Got it.
So I'm a leg guy, And I do prefer them to be double fried. Like you throw them back down for 30 seconds, get them real
they
crispy.
need to crunch when I bite, or I'm not part of it. And then
But-
sometimes they douse it in too much sauce. It softens the skin.
Yeah, but a boneless wing is a nugget.
Yeah,
I mean, you're basically
that's fine. I like a
basically
nugget.
you're a kid.
Who doesn't like a nugget? I'm a kid. I mean, look, I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts. I'm a kid. I like a nugget. Let's not disparage. Let me just put this out there. Let's not disparage the nugget, okay? As if the nugget is something to be embarrassed about. A nugget is great. Who doesn't like a nugget?
Yeah, but
What are you just not eating it because you don't want to feel like a kid?
no, nugget needs to be dipped.
Yeah.
Not, sauced. Like
This is all good things.
it's too covered. Like I don't know. Like first of all,
Yeah.
I think which nugget you go for says a lot about you.
What do you mean?
So like fast food nugget, which nugget you going for?
What's the best tasting?
Okay, leave like Chick-fil-A out because
Okay.
I'm too close to it. So like
What's fast food?
McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Culver, the usual suspect.
All different types of chicken there.
Yeah, I know Taco Bell's got a nugget now.
They're actually more like Chick-fil-A than anything else. I mean, if I'm just going straight up fast food nugget, I think the McDonald's nugget probably has the best taste.
Yeah, it's just agreed, right?
But you dunk that nugget.
You dunk it. You don't throw it in a bag and
No,
mix it with the
my
sauce.
daughter does that though with the sweet and sour. She'll shake up the box.
Yeah. No, the McDonald's nugget, and it's probably mostly potato,
Whatever.
but it does taste good,
Yeah.
and it's like satisfying.
Yeah, but I'm saying on the other hand, like your nuggets from Chick-fil-A, they're great. I go to Costco, they have a bag, tastes the same. Did you know that? They have the bag of them, and then they have the fillets. You get them from there too. They're pretty damn good. We eat them at the house. Anyway, let me stop taking money out of your pocket. But dips. All right, so let's move on. We'll be quick with this food stuff. But dips, what's your go-to dip game day? What are you doing?
So, if I know the establishment,
No, you make.
oh,
You
my
make.
dips.
Yeah,
Oh,
your dip.
Yeah, Trisha, she's Hispanic, so she makes a good 7-layer dip.
7 layers, huh?
Yeah, 7-layer dip. It's pretty good.
It's a lot of layers.
We do like spinach.
Spinach artichoke or just spinach?
Yeah, good spinach artichoke dip with the crackers. We're preferential to certain crackers.
Okay.
I like a Triscuit because it's got that crunch.
Yeah.
You know.
Triscuit's always fun.
Yeah, it holds the weight of the whatever you're dipping. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's probably
Like
the biggest deal.
if I'm dipping chips, what chip are you dipping?
In a dip? Ugh.
Because to me, there's only one.
No, I think you're wrong. Whatever you're going to say is probably wrong. So we've made the change over the last, maybe in the past 2 years. We've moved away from the Tostito. It's a heavier chip.
Yeah, and it is good.
I don't like it though.
Well,
See, I feel
it's not good with everything that you put on it.
Here's my thing with the Tostito. Give me some space here to land this plane. The Tostito it's just heavy. So I eat 6-7 Tostitos. I feel like I'm eating more Tostito than dip. I feel the weight of the chip.
Yeah.
So we've switched to a corn chip, a corn tortilla chip, which is much lighter, and we typically go gluten free. So it's a lot lighter chip. It's airy, and what happens and when we make nachos and stuff with it is we get a lot more of the flavor from the toppings than the chip. The chip is more of a canvas than it is the piece of art itself.
Yeah, no. I get that.
The Tostito is like the star of the show a lot of times.
But I'm talking about if you're going with a potato chip.
Oh, I thought you were saying for dip.
No, yeah, because I do agree. You're right. There's some good corn chips, even like a Hearty, the Frito scoops.
I
Underrated.
haven't done that, but I wouldn't.
pretty good.
I wouldn't.
If you're going
laugh
potato
at you.
chip, it's got to be either the real crispy, there's a new version.
Do you dip regular chips and dip?
If I'm dipping a regular chip and dip,
I never dip.
it's a ruffle
Oh yeah,
Because
an
it
onion
holds.
dip.
because it holds.
But what else do you dip the ruffle in? Oh, see, I don't do that.
Anything.
Ruffles strictly for onion dip.
No,
That's it. Nothing else.
A potato chip in sour cream. Nothing else.
I've never done that. I
Underrated.
don't think I ever will.
No, yeah. I mean, but I'm here to help you. I'm helping
You're here
you
to teach.
Yeah.
All right. So there's some snacks. I think you're staying away from drinks. I think pizza, wings, they're all the normals. But I think our families, I think we like to cook a little bit and make it a little bit special. That's one thing to look forward to. Another thing to look forward to in this game, I think if you don't have a rooting interest or if you're not rooting out of hate, I think for me, as much as I'm tired of the Kansas City Chiefs, I hate the Eagles with a fiery, burning passion, and I think they could be literally playing Satan on the field, and I might root for Satan. And that's just where I'm at with it. So, like, I have something to root for, but there's some interesting things about this game. And to all our Florida friends here, we are in Florida. There's stuff we could talk about in this game. They're like, what do we think will happen? I think a big one is, how many points do we think these teams are going to score totally? A number that's out there is about 48.5 points, more or less. Where are you with that? Do you think this is a game that goes over 48 points or stays under?
I respect the Chiefs' defense.
Mm-hmm.
I love their coach, not only because he's Italian, but that is part of it.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion this is going to get a little bit out of hand.
Really?
And so, like, I would say 48 points, I would definitely go over. Because I could see one of the teams needing 30 to win. And I think it's going to be because Spagnuolo, no matter how good he is, I do think Saquon's breaking a long run. There could be a touchdown there late that's forcing them. And I think that if you look at the Chiefs this year, they've won the majority of their games last drive of the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of like I would definitely vote over on that.
Well, I think the 48.5, whoever came up with this number, I think they're really on point because I think you're going to be sweating it out on either side. Steve Spagnuolo is a great defensive coordinator. The Eagles' defense is great. I think they're going to do all they can on the Chiefs' side to take Saquon out of this game. Do I think he still might pop one? I think he'll get a long run off. I don't know that he'll score, but I think he'll get a long run off. But I do think they're going to attempt to bottle him up and have Hurts, who has thrown the ball well in the past, specifically last time these two teams met up in the Super Bowl. Probably best game of his career. So it's in there, but I do think if I'm Steve Spagnuolo, I'm focusing on making him beat me with his arm because it has been inconsistent, specifically over the end of the season and through the playoffs.
Although I will say the last game against the Commanders, the pass he had to make.
Yeah, he made the pass.
He made it. So, like, you're right. I think, and I agree with you. The last time they played the Chiefs, maybe one of his better games. He's a hard guy to not like. Like my Hurts. My hate for the Eagles isn't about Hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think if you're the Chiefs, you've got to make him beat you with his arm.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I think that I don't know. So that means that either Jalen Hurts is going to play really well and this will go over 48.5 points, or he won't and it'll be far under. Because I do think they're going to commit a lot to stopping Saquon. And on the flip side, the Eagles' defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, is 0-9 going up against the Chiefs. Vic Fangio, storied defensive coordinator. He has his pelts on the wall. He's no slouch. Coming into this game, I think he knows that he has to do something a little different. So I think there's a chance he goes against his normal way of doing things where he sends a little bit more pressure. They have a great front in Philly, as much as I hate to admit that. So they're typically sending one guy. I do think we may see something more exotic here because I don't think he likes the fact that he's 0-9 and it's a big game. And I think that the Chiefs they don't have – somebody's going to have to step up.
Yeah.
Is Hollywood Brown going to be a guy? I don't know where their big threats are coming from.
I think, it seems like Xavier, when they need him, he's there.
Yeah.
Pacheco, he's a hard runner. I don't know that he's nowhere near what, Saquon is, but but I do think that Reed is one of the better play designers around runs.
I agree.
And he kind of reminds me a lot of Chip Kelly, which I think was, you think about the Ohio State Buckeyes lost both their coordinators.
Yep.
And they are now the highest paid coordinators in college and in
The pros. Yeah.
And he got a raise from $2 million to $6 million. He got that raise because he can design a run play that absolutely a defense doesn't see coming, and they can't seem to stop.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of what you're saying, I think that's underrated with Reed and his offensive coordinators. They can design a play that makes Pacheco look better than what he is.
So this is perfect because I think we can move off of that. There's a few more of those we'll ask, but this brings me to something else. And we're talking about Andy Reid, Mahomes in this game as well. There's a bunch of storylines on Philly side. But this is something I was thinking about the other day because I had a friend that mentioned it after watching our last show. Whose legacy, and we're going to go legacy talk here, whose legacy is more affected by this game? And I'm going to give you a few choices instead of letting you freestyle. And I think two of them, maybe you haven't thought of this angle yet, but maybe you have. So the names are obviously Patrick Mahomes with the three-peat, Andy Reid, obviously with the three-peat and everything he's done here in Kansas City and Philadelphia. And then the next two guys are Belichick and Brady. Them and this game, what the Chiefs do or don't do, who can it affect more in the long run legacy-wise?
So am I comparing Reid to Belichick?
No, what you're doing is saying, okay, the outcome of this game, let's say the Chiefs win. Whose legacy does it affect more out of these four guys?
Yeah, so I would say it's a tough conversation because really all four of these, their legacies are already ingrained. Like, to me...
But perceptions can be changed, I think.
Yeah, they can be, but I couldn't see any of these four not being first ballot Hall of Famers.
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
What I love about Reid is he's done it, and he's done it in several teams, and he's got a system that just seems to work. I think the one that is impacted the most if the Chiefs win is Mahomes, because now we get to look directly him against Brady, and I think he looks better than Brady in his brief career.
So then that just leads into the rest of that question: is does that actually affect him more or Brady more?
Yeah,
because I would argue back and say, right now as it stands, Patrick Mahomes is already being talked about in the same class of Brady. Right?
Yeah, I think it cements him.
But I'm saying from a skills perspective, you could already say more skilled than Brady, more talented than Brady, right?
Yeah.
It's all those things. Numbers, they're there. Like through the first 7 years of his career, he's doing things that Brady did and then some things that he didn't do, right? So that's all there baked in. Winning this game, it probably cements something. But for Brady on the other side, I think what Brady's clinging to is the amount of title games, the amount of Super Bowls. So I could argue that him winning may have more of an effect on Brady because it takes away the one thing, or it really chips away at the one thing that he's holding over Mahomes, which is the Super Bowl wins, number one, and then the three-peat, which I think kind of trumps the two runs separately that Brady have, maybe not collectively, but the three-peat trumps the 18-1 season, obviously, but it also trumps the 3 championships in 4 years or whatever it was. I forgot what they did. Was it 3 and 5 or something like that?
Yeah. Well, but a couple things. I think that there's a lot of revisionist history. I will give Brady his due. Brady brought the Bucs and won the Super Bowl, and it was on the back of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think that what people forget is they kind of see the Patriots dynasty and they won a bunch, then there was a rough period, then they won again. But that's not true. In fact, I think they went to 9 straight AFC championships.
Well, they were winners the whole time.
Yeah, they just couldn't get over the hurdle all the time.
Twice,
Yeah. So I think, to me, right now, Brady is still the preeminent, but I do think that this win, if Mahomes wins, I think people start saying Mahomes is the greatest.
Yeah. So
To
I
me.
guess that if yeah. I guess I just feel like Mahomes is already going to be called that.
Well,
And then, so I think for Brady, it kind of is a kill shot. That's what
yeah. So what it does is, because like Mahomes, is he going to be able to play into his late 30s, early 40s? We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Could he go to another team and win another championship? Something that Brady did.
Yeah.
And I think Brady did intentionally. I think Brady wanted to separate himself from Belichick and show that I could win, which he did, and Belichick didn't do. I don't know if you saw Belichick's flex the other night. He was with his 20-year-old girlfriend,
Hot.
and he was wearing all of his rings except for
yeah?
one
No,
that he let her one.
I didn't see that.
Wear one. So yeah,
That's funny.
But I do think that like Mahomes is, if he wins here, I think people are going to stop saying is he. I think it's going to be more of, oh no, he's better than Brady. He accomplished more than Brady in his first however many years.
Yeah, and I think just to put a bow on this is the other thing that people forget. I think the earlier Patriots dynasty was a lot more on the surrounding cast and the coaching staff. I mean, I'm not going to say Tom Brady was a passenger for all of it, but there were parts of that where he was very much, when he was young, he was don't turn the ball over, but had a little bit of that magic late in games kind of deal. We're not like later Brady.
No,
which
you
I think
started seeing the
him,
possibility, but he was more of a game manager.
He's more of a game manager, made big throws, all that stuff. Later on in his career, he really became, when that offense was the leading force on that team. But early on, it was Rodney Harrison, Teddy Bruschi, all those guys, tough run, Corey Dillon, all those guys that they had there that were like tough Belichick players, right?
Yeah.
Parcells, tree kind of guys. All right, so next one. All right, so we'll flip to the other side. The Eagles, who I think are creeping up towards being almost close to being favorites in this game, if not even. I got to check that out. But the Eagles, so let's give them a little bit of shine, even though we hate them. My question is, who has to be the MVP for the Eagles to win this Super Bowl? Where do you go here? Because I think there's an easy answer, and I don't know if it's the right one.
Yeah, so like immediately my heart says that it can only be two parts of their team. To me, number one, Jalen Hurts. He's got to be the MVP. Everybody, if Saquon runs for 200 yards, no one's surprised.
Yeah.
No one. Jalen Hurts, when it's crunch time, if it's a close game like all of their games have been, is he the guy leading the final score, or is it Mahomes?
Yeah.
The other one I would say is what the defensive line is able to do against the Chiefs. That's underrated.
See, this is a good, and for anybody out there that's interested in anything that has to do with wagering, I think this is important. I think that if you think the Eagles win this game, I think they're for sure, because of Jalen Hurts and his play and his standing and the perception of him, I think this is a game that if the Eagles do win, you have the chance where maybe it's a defensive play or two by the same guy that could possibly get the MVP. I mean, if you go back to a Bucs Super Bowl, was it Dexter Jackson? Who was the quarterback of that Bucs team? Do you remember?
It was Brad Johnson.
There you go. So when you have a Brad Johnson, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is Brad Johnson, but I think he's closer to Brad Johnson than he is to Tom Brady.
Yeah, or Mahomes. Yeah.
Right? So in those scenarios, when you have game-breaking plays on the defense, if this suffocating Eagles defense can really put the clamps on the Chiefs, similar to the way the Bucs did and when they met in the Super Bowl, you don't have a Tom Brady there. So I think it's very possible that a guy with 2 sacks and a forced fumble or something like that
could be
your MVP.
Which I love seeing, a little bit of love for the defense.
Yeah.
And I also think that no one has been able, it's frustrating because when you watch Mahomes run, he looks freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
He does. Like, he looks
He
ridiculous.
looks like an old lady.
But
Yeah.
no matter what, there hasn't been a successful enough defense who can spy him, and because he's never running to run, he's running to get somebody open. But every once in a while, 3rd and 12, he'll take off and he'll get a first down.
Yeah.
So you're right. Like, I think how good the linebackers do, how good the defensive line do, who's spying Mahomes. It could be an interesting game.
All right, so let's get to the real meat and bones here. Who do you think's winning? Why do you think they're winning? And what is the path for your loser to win?
Okay, I am still going to say until they get beat, it's the Chiefs. Okay. I believe that are they a team of destiny? Are they helped by the refs? I'm not sure which is true, but until they're beat, I think the Chiefs are the team that I believe is going to win. I think for the Eagles to win, it is going to have to be something that they figure out on defense to keep Mahomes. And this is the reason why what you're saying I think is true. The only way a defensive guy becomes MVP is if he stops the guy that everybody wants to be MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So if they force him into an interception, if they sack him a couple times, whatever, I think that could be your MVP. So I think for the Eagles to win, the defense has got to step up.
I agree.
But I still think at the end, the last drive, the Chiefs are going to figure something out.
I agree. I think that the defense, the path to victory for the Eagles, no matter what else happens in the game, the defense has to make a big play. And I think the Eagles have to play from in front. I think if they're playing from behind, yeah, are they explosive? Yes. Can they score? Yes. But the Chiefs, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes are just too good at not just the game, but the intricacies, the time management, the situation management, that if you get into midway through the third quarter and the Chiefs are up 7 to 10 points, I think it's going to be a tough hill to climb up to win that game for the Eagles. I think you have to come. If I'm the Eagles, I feel like you have to be in the lead coming into the second half to have a chance.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to be playing from in front, able to run the ball, not have the pressure, because I think the Chiefs will get the ball. They will be methodical. They will run the clock. They will be efficient, and they will be smart, and they're not going to beat themselves. So I think it's a really tough sledding for the Eagles. If you're behind, you have to get in front. You have to run the ball, and I think the only way that happens is if the defense makes a play.
So I'm going to say this because everything you're saying, I think we're 100% on the same page.
And I got the Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs. I could see a game that is close till the end, that the Chiefs and Reid, Mahomes, find a way to win.
Yeah.
And it results in Nick Sirianni being fired.
Yeah.
And replaced with Bill Belichick. So listen, you've heard it here first.
Okay.
Belichick has an easy out at North Carolina, and he has already named a successor as his son. There's a lot of talk that Belichick really doesn't want to coach college.
Yeah.
There were surprisingly not as many offers to coach in the pros. I could see if Sirianni does, because he's an idiot sometimes. He doesn't always manage the clock well.
He's been better lately.
He has been better, but he has also screwed up. And I'm trusting Andy Reid with that last drive or how you run the fourth quarter much more than this guy.
I agree.
So it's an interesting, because has the losing coach in a Super Bowl ever been fired? Because I tried to, and I couldn't think of one, but I could see a situation where they're just tired of his act in
Maybe. They've been so good.
They have been good.
I think
but is that because of him or in spite of him?
No, I think it's because of him, because all the funny stuff about him aside, I think I seen a stat where like he's 8-0 against like the top, against the Dan Campbell's, the Kyle Shanahan's, all the top, Kevin McDermott's,
Sean
McVay's. Over the last few years, he's like 8-0. So whether it's just him or his staff he put together, Whatever they're doing in Philly is working. As much as I hate to admit that,
What's his record against Andy Reid?
I don't know. I think they might be 1-1, right?
I mean, they've lost. They played in how many Super Bowls?
One.
Okay, they lost that.
Yeah,
I think
they played
won
in
one regular
season,
season and
so
they
it
lost
might be
one.
1-1.
I don't know. It's interesting because I liken it to a college football where Ryan Day just signed a huge contract because he won it all.
Yeah.
There were people calling for his
because
head.
he can't beat Michigan.
Yeah.
But it's just a different, college football, especially that rivalry is different. Dream scenario, end of the game, Chiefs up by, let's say a field goal. Philly's driving. They're driving. It's the drive, to the legacy defining drive for Jalen Hurts and company. I don't know. Let's go 2nd and 7, something like that. 2nd and 7. Easy pickup. Jalen Hurts goes to hand the ball off. Pop. Achilles pop.
I don't know that you should be.
AJ Brown gets in an argument with Sirianni on the sideline there. Saquon takes the ball, is running out to the hashes, about to pick up the first down. Peanut punch the ball, fumble recovered by the Chiefs. They nail it out, victory formation. We all go home winners.
Is that what you want?
Dream scenario.
Is that what you want, or do you want?
No, that's what I want.
Or do you want?
Okay.
First down and goal at the Chiefs' goal, and 4 times the Chiefs' defense stuff Saquon Barkley, keeps him out of the end zone.
I'd rather him fumble.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah. The fumble makes him the GOAT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What is the opposite of GOAT? So what do we call?
It's a scapegoat.
Scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think we just need an animal name.
Okay, the skunk. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not
all right,
good.
so last one. Here we go. Jason Kelce. Familiar?
I am.
I like Jason Kelce now that he's retired. Put yourself in the shoes of Jason Kelce, right? He's coming to this game a year removed from the Eagles. Eagles rematch with the Chiefs. They lost to them in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. He's friends with everybody in that locker room still, obviously, right? And then on the other side, his brother playing in this game. Who are you rooting for? How? How do you root in this game as Jason Kelce?
I think Jason is a loyal guy. I think he's rooting for the Eagles.
So wouldn't he have to be loyal to his brother?
No, because I think you're always loyal to the team that you played for. You had your success, the team that paid you all the money. I think in this situation, I think he's rooting for his brother to do well, but I think he's rooting for the Eagles.
So you think he's rooting against his brother getting a three-peat?
Yeah, I do.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I do.
It possibly last game.
Yeah. What about his mom and then the deadbeat brother? What are they? Are they wearing the
I
half
didn't even know
jerseys?
They probably wearing half jerseys, right? You got to wear half jerseys.
No, they have a deadbeat brother. They have a third Kelce that.
What's deadbeat about him? He just doesn't play football?
He hasn't really amounted to much. I mean, he's living off. He's kind of like Mahomes' brother.
I would let my brother live off me if I could.
But would you live off your brother?
No.
Okay. You see, it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
If you're the
not everybody's
the deadbeatee.
It's not everybody's. Yeah,
but if you're the deadbeater, that's okay.
Can't all be winners.
Yeah.
All right. So, any parting thoughts on the Super Bowl before we go? Any hot takes?
The thing that I want to see, is there a bet or is there a wager where you can make a lot of money off of a Kelce good game and he takes a knee and proposes to Taylor? Because I think if they win, there's a chance. If they don't win, he's not. But if they win, he might be taking a knee and he might be proposing to the tall one.
I got a few good ones if you have those available to you. I think in Florida we don't have some of those more exotic things available, but if you're in another district or state, if you think the Chiefs are going to win, go purple Gatorade. If you think the Eagles are going to win, you go with your lemon, lime, green, whatever that is, lemonade. Gatorade.
It's the classic, man.
That's the classic with the Chiefs. Last 2 Super Bowl wins, purple Gatorade. So if you think they're going to win, that'd be a nice little play. You do your red or black bet base, or can't say it. Your red or black wager over there on your coin toss. Tails never fails is my motto. There's a few more good ones. I do look at the tight ends in this game, and I think they both have big games. Both Travis Kelce and Mr. Dallas Goedert. I think they both have pretty big games. I think the defense for the Chiefs matches up pretty well on the outside. Another one I heard, which is really good, is first sack of the game. McDuffie is, I think, 50 to 1 odds on that.
Yeah, so you throw a couple bucks on that.
A couple bucks on that. Spagnuolo, last time McDuffie had multiple sacks in a game was against the Eagles. Spags likes to send that corner back in. So a nice little play there. Get in there. It's fun. It makes the day more exciting. We hope you guys.
This game you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Well, only thing I want to say is get ready, and we're going to be doing a series, getting ready for next year's fantasy draft, looking at every rookie grouping. I watched 8 games.
Nice.
4 games of Cam Ward and 4 games of Shador.
Oh, you finally watched.
Sanders. Why did I say Samuels? Sanders.
You're losing it.
I came away from those 8 games.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear.
With a almost a crush on one of these quarterbacks.
Oh, you're teasing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be probably our next show. If not, look for our rookie series.
All right. We love you. Go follow us everywhere you follow podcasts. Peace. And we're on Apple Podcasts now. We're back on Apple. We're on Spotify. Guys on Sports. Guys on Draft. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Get to the TikTok at GLN Podcast. Comment, follow, share. We love you.